Good afternoon, everybody. Um, I was just about to leave, and I'm actually going to go in the next 20 minutes because I've got to move my car. Um, I don't know why. I thought I'd just have a 10 minutes, 20 minutes of, because I've got to move my car by 3 o'clock. So I thought, let me have just a few minutes of what's on YouTube. And to my astonishment and absolute total disgust, I read activist mob outside of Tucker Carlson's home. Unbelievable. This is getting out of hand. I'm a great fan of Tucker Carlson. The guy is not a racist. He's not a sexist. He's a conservative. This will not stop him. And this, I'm sorry to say this, to me, this is the equivalent of the Ku Klux Klan going, and this is the reason why they've done that. They've gone to his home and they're doing exactly what the Ku Klux Klan did back in the day in the 50s and the 60s. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. These people need to be arrested. Need to be arrested. And they need to be put away, not just for a year or two. They've got to be put away for 2 or 3 years. They've got to be taught. Antifa is getting out of hand. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. He wasn't at home, apparently. It says here the Foxhouse was not at home at the time, but his wife, Susie, was. She called the police and hid in the pantry. Is this acceptable? America, are you saying Black Lives Matter? Antifa obviously don't give a shit. All you leftist bastards, you think that this is acceptable? This is the same thing that the Ku Klux Klan did to black people. This has to stop. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. This cannot continue. This is just getting really. I'm shocked. I'm seriously, and I thought that kind of thing was, the Ku Klux Klan are not as big as they used to be. They're reduced in numbers, but I wouldn't want the Ku Klux Klan, under any circumstances, to be erased from America. If they're going to go devolve, they'll devolve in their own way. If they go for the next 2,000 years, I would welcome them in debates, just like I welcomed the BNP, as long as they're not violent. The National Front in the UK used to be violent. I think the BNP was more political. It's now become political. And let's sit down and have a discussion. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Because if you push people underground, things, and you don't have a discussion or a discourse with people, if you're not going to change their minds, that's fine. But at least if you can have a talk with them, they might show a little bit of respect for you. I don't care if a white person cannot stand me as a black person. That's fine. You are entitled to that. You have free will. That is what God gave us. And I would never want to take that free will from them. This is what the feminist, and I'll continue saying, this is being driven by the feminist movement. They are looking for a 1984 scenario where women will be in charge. The feminist women, they will be in charge. They will control everything that is said in the media. People like Tucker Carlson will not be on certainly not on primetime TV. He will be underground and broadcasting on the radio or broadcasting through an antenna or something like that in the future onto the internet, because the feminist movement is becoming more and more radicalized as the days go on. This is an example of the feminist movement are in control here. I don't care what anybody says. They are fully and totally in control. And this is what men and your family, if you've got a woman who's a true, heterosexual woman who believes in marriage and doesn't believe in abortion and etc., and believes the sanctity of life, you'll be targeted. And this is an example here of them being targeted. Come on, America. This is not acceptable. No matter what whether you're Democrat or Republican, this is not acceptable. Because if you allow this to continue, all that will happen is you'll, at some point or other, because the right, those who are on the right, like myself, those who are on the right in America, will get tired of your games and your behavior, and they will come after you, and then it will become war. Antifa have already been knocked out several times by guys from the right. The guys from the right, they're not guys you want to mess with, okay? But it seems to be you really want to hang on to that tail of the tiger. Be very, very careful. This is just not acceptable. Outrageous that this poor woman had to run into a pantry to hide from these people. This, if they're not dealt with, they will carry on. They will carry on with this. What will it be next? They will produce a Fox News and stick it into their lawn, and that will be burning. Oh no, not acceptable. A self-described left-wing Antifa group posted videos of a mob outside the Washington D.C. home of Fox News Tucker Carlson Wednesday evening, chanting, "Tucker Carlson, we will fight." What will you fight? What is there for you to fight? We know where you sleep at night. That is a clear threat on this man's life, or certainly on his family, on his well-being. Really? The now deleted video was posted on social media by Smash Racism. Really? DC. The same group made headlines in September after activists confronted Senator Ted Cruz, Texas, and his wife inside a restaurant during Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court confirmation hearing. This is the game that they want to play. This is gonna escalate into war. America is going to be fighting amongst itself soon. There will be another civil war. I'm predicting, unless the authorities get a hold of this situation now, there will be a civil war in America. Seriously. The group posted on Facebook that Carlson spreads fear into our homes. How does he? Why are you switching it? Why are you switching on Fox News anyway? If you didn't switch it on, he wouldn't come into your home. It's just stupid. And said it wanted to even the score. Even the score for what? All he's doing is talking. All he's doing is pointing out stupid nonsense, especially the way and the behaviour of the feminist movement, the way and the behaviour of those on the left, not far left, the left. He's the voice of common sense. Each night you remind us that we are not safe. In what way? What does he do that he's saying? He points out nonsense. That's what he does. He points out what's not common sense. Tonight we remind you that you are not safe either. The group posted. They also chanted, "Races, shitbag, leave town." The post was later removed. I don't know who Benny Johnson is. Yes, you're absolutely right. The left is sick. A mob has gathered outside Tucker Carlson's home, demanding his family leave DC because he is a racist scumbag. Every night you spread fear into homes. We remind you that you are not safe either. Well, if that's what you want this to be, a war, it will be a war. And I'm telling you this now, you don't want to go down that route, because those on the right will destroy those on the left, and they will be ruthless. You can guarantee that. Tucker has 4 children, so the children were in the house. The mother was in the house. This is unacceptable, people. The left is sick. Absolutely correct. They're very evil and sick. Carlson, host of Tucker Carlson Tonight, was not at home at the time. He said his wife Susie was home alone and heard the commotion from the kitchen. She called the police and locked herself into a pantry, he said. His brother, who lives close by, arrived about the same time as law enforcement. The host said Axifist rang his doorbell, broke his oak door, and one protester was apparently caught on security video mentioning a pipe bomb. DC police did not immediately respond to a Fox News email earlier today. Police, you need to do your jobs now. This is not acceptable. So they came onto his property that he's bought with his own money. They touched his doorbell and they broke his oak door. You see, this is what people don't understand. That the left is not about free will. It is about controlling free will so that you don't supposedly offend other people. In the West, the left feel the only way that they can stop anybody from so-called offending other people in the future is to do what the Chinese did, which is to clamp down literally on everything. Music, on religion, on having fun. Everybody wears the same clothes, both men and women. That's what these bastards want in America today. They don't want free will anymore. They want to be the custodians of what they believe is goodness. They believe that they're good people, the people on the left. I'm sorry to say this to you, the people on the left are pure evil. They are pure evil. Carlson said he was at the Fox News office in Washington working on his opening monologue when neighbours texted him about the commotion outside his home. His wife of 22 years did not contact him because she didn't want to distract him before he went on air. Good on you. I take my hat off to you. A great wife. 22 years. She's a good woman. A very good woman. I take my hat off to you. The group eventually scattered. It was unclear if there were any arrests. Carlson said the group posted online the home addresses of his brother and his former college roommate, Neil Patel, who co-founded the Daily Caller with Carlson. So you see, those on the left, this is good. This is great advertisement for the left. And hopefully people who are libertarians or who lean a little bit to the left, if they have any moral fibre, one strand of moral fibre, they will look at this and say, no, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Right, I'm going to go and move my car. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right, I've just come back from putting a card into my van on my estate. I've got a card that lasts for 24 hours each day. So forever, as long as you've got enough cards for the week or the couple of days or whatever, then you've got to put your name. Sorry, you've got to put the estate that you're visiting. You've got to put time and date, all this kind of nonsense. If you put anything wrong on there, they will give you a ticket. If you put the date wrong, they will give you a ticket. If you put the time wrong, they will give you a ticket. If you use a pencil, they will give you a ticket. So anyway, I was sitting in the car waiting for 3 o'clock to go by, and there was about 2-3 minutes to go. As I came out of the estate, and I turned to my right, and I walked just a little bit past the building. There was a woman with blonde hair, black woolly jacket, tight jeans that women usually wear, these high heely sort of booty things. She had blonde hair, and I think I don't know if she was Russian or Ukrainian, but she was speaking in that kind of language. And she had a phone to her ear, and she obviously looked across to me because I came out of the door. I looked at her and then looked away. That was it. That was no more. Didn't look at her again. Within that second or two, I, gathered all the information of what she looked like. Went to my car. She walked past. She was on the other side of it's a little got a cul-de-sac, but it's a little road, and there's some other cars parked on the other side. My car's parked on the other side, so on and so on. Anyway, so she carried on walking past, and I completely ignored her. I didn't look at her, and she's talking, but she wasn't talking loud. She was talking in a normal voice. So she walks past, and I get into my car, open it, sitting there, and then she then gets to the end part of the road, and then she turns and walks back. In the meantime, I'm filling out the form that I've got to put in my car, and she then goes back down the road. I've still got about 2 or 3 minutes, and I thought she was gone. You know, she's gone off down the road, but I was waiting for the time to get to 3 o'clock, which it hadn't. And I was sitting in the car and I was listening to LBC and the nonsense of that twat from CNN. I think it's Costa or whatever. His behaviour when he was trying to question Donald Trump, he was just absolutely outrageous, rude and outrageous. There are other people there who want to answer questions, and he refused to give up the mic, and he carried on with his disgusting behaviour. I hope that he will not be allowed back in the White House again. I mean, I don't know how it works, but if Trump can dictate who comes into the office, obviously he can't stop CNN coming in. I wish he could, and all those other left-wing twats. But if they insist on sending idiots, then by all means keep sending idiots, and if he can stop them from coming in, fine. Or he just doesn't answer their questions, or just don't give them any time to answer any questions. They're there. He doesn't have to answer any of their questions. He can pick and choose who he wants. So if they want to play that stupid game, let them. So anyway, so I'm listening to LBC. The host was a woman. Clearly, I think she was quite. She didn't. It sounded that she was quite happy. She wasn't going, "Oh, I'm very happy." No. You could hear. You can hear people. They feel that Trump got what he's deserving, and they're happy with that. I'm not surprised, but yeah. So I'm sitting there. It hits 3 o'clock, and now the woman's coming back up the road. She's literally part way up the road, not far from my car coming up. So I get out, press the alarm, look to make sure I've written the right details, and my back is towards her. Now, guess what? Her voice suddenly raises. She's not shouting, but it's a lot more raised than it was before. And she keeps on talking quite loudly as she's now gone level with me. But guess what? I haven't looked at her. I didn't turn to look at her at all. I just went past the car and then went back into my flat. So what this says to me is that this is the kind of girl she could get probably quite a few young men with no problem at all. What she's looking at is she needs to see that you are looking at an attractive looking woman and that she wants that attention. And when you're not looking at her, what she does is she raises her voice to draw your attention that she's there and that she's virtually behind you. And it's time for you to turn around and look at this woman. So this is the way that women operate in this society. We truly do live in a matrix society. And men, if you have sons, you need to teach your sons and for them to be wary of the society that we live in. It is being run by the feminist movement. What's his name? Milo Monopolis said it exactly as it should be. Feminism is cancer. It is a cancer in the society. It's working its way through the top of all the echelons of society. It will bring it down, because that's what cancer does. It kills you off eventually. Feminism will kill off this planet. Certainly it will kill people off in the West. The Middle East will come in and take over. Muslimism will take over. You've already got that stupid bint. O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor is a Muslim? Are you serious? She's just doing that to piss off the Catholic Church for whatever reason she wants to do it for. Stupid old bint. And now she's a Muslim. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so it said here, Carlson said he is used to being confronted in public and has no interest in playing the role of victim. But he said his wife and 4 children should not have been exposed to the aggression while at home. Exactly. You know, take your aggression to him. And if you want to have a discussion with him, by all means have a discussion with him in the street or wherever you see him, have a talk. But listen, I don't care what anybody says. This is not acceptable. We can't have people going to people's homes, these bastard lefts with their virtue signaling nonsense, pretending that they are caring people when they are really, they want to control this world. China tried to do it. They made everyone, men and women, wear exactly the same clothing. They made men and women equal, and they made sure that religion was stamped on, all freedoms were stamped on. They got what they wanted, but the Chinese weren't happy. Generally, they weren't happy. They made sure that nobody could have more than 1 child. Now they've changed that policy so you can have at least 2 or 3. It's just that this is what socialism is. It is a dangerous, nasty ideology. Those people, I don't have a problem with, personally I would prefer libertarianism and conservatism. And I would be happy to destroy the left and so it comes out of existence. So you've got libertarian, let libertarianism take over, and those on the right. Yes, you must have a balance. Holy sweet Christmas! But what we've got now is those who are on the left are the extreme. Plain and simple. They've shown themselves. They've shown their card. This is unacceptable, people. The police must do their jobs, find these bastards and put them in prison. Okay? They must find them. They must hunt them down. And if they're not willing to, once they find who some of these people, and they're not supposedly not the ones, they have to go to prison. Well, that's the problem. But I think they need to be held accountable regardless of who they get hold of. If you work for that organisation and you're responsible, you need to be dealt with. Here's the problem. I have 4 children, he said by phone. I never thought twice about leaving them home alone. But this is the reaction because this group doesn't like my TV show. Twitter reportedly removed a photo of Carlson's home address that was posted by the group. Smash Racism DC account was suspended early on Thursday. Why was it suspended? Why hasn't it been deleted? Shut down completely. Find out who their account, the other accounts are that are linked through, and shut them down. They should never be allowed to go on other social media again. Brett Hume, a Fox News contributor, took to Twitter to denounce the protest as revolting and frightening. Absolutely. He's absolutely correct. It is, because this is a very dangerous president. This is, from the point of view of 1984. I'm yet to read that book again. And if you haven't read 1984, this is the description of those on the left. I just need to answer a phone. So I'm back. Yeah. I'm truly disgusted by this. I'm seriously, I'm worried about what does this mean for those people who have conservative views. Are we now going to be hunted down um, by society, the rest of society, who have sort of left wing views, or what's going to happen? If I walk out in the street as a black man and I'm saying to some of my friends, "Oh, by the way, I'm conservative," am I going to get attacked? Are they going to try and throw a punch at me? What's going on? This is just getting out of hand, people. Honest to God, this is this is what you see. The reason why I brought up feminism in this is that it is responsible for what is going on today. Plain and simple. Feminism, okay, isn't interested in the working together between men and women. It is interested only in a matriarchal society, and they believe that if they can make women in charge of this society and make it matriarchal, they believe all the problems that they get from the people on the right, they will be able to not just control them but eliminate them. That's why I'm saying 1984. That's why I'm saying the feminism movement is a dangerous movement. It's a cancerous movement. Okay. This is why we need to be very, very careful. But the problem is, anytime the feminist movement say jump, a lot of people say how high. But when there are people like a guy in Australia who swore at a woman, one of his own, a female senator, and told her to stop shagging men because she came out with some nonsense and talked some rubbish, and he swore at her and called her something else. They're looking to throw him out on his ear. She's saying he needs to resign. No, this guy's got balls. He's standing up to the nonsense. He's questioned the so-called rubbishy study of the gender pay gap, and he's just asked basic questions. And the point being is that none of these women that he was questioning could give a definitive answer to him when he said, "Have you done any? What modelling have you done on the on the gender pay gap?" They're not interested about that. They just want to bring out stupid raw data which shows that men earn more money, women earn less, apparently, and then put it down to sexism. They say that women are deliberately not being paid more money, when he states that it's against the law. And if businesses are deliberately paying women less money per hour than men, of course they should be taken to court and fined, and those women should be reimbursed their money. But if this is not the case, all you're doing is consistently putting a wedge between men and women, and that's what the feminist movement clearly wants. It wants to control what goes on. Antifa is a feminist dynamic organization, and it's run hand in hand with the LGBT, whatever it is, community, and the feminist community, and the socialists. Okay, those are the ones that are running Antifa. The extremes are being run by the feminists and the far left lesbians, etc., etc. I just hope Tucker needs to now start getting proper security. See, this is the thing now. Now he'll have to spend money getting real proper security and boundaries within his homes that he lives in. This is just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. People coming onto your property, damaging your door. What right did they have to do that? None. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. Please, President Trump, you've got to start bringing, forcing these states to put these kind of evil nutcases, because it will be their responsibility, God forbid, if people like Carlson gets killed, and it's true, or gets injured. It will be their responsibility, because they do nothing. Why hasn't Antifa been banned? It's an organization that needs to be banned. You know, it is a dangerous organisation. It's proved itself time and again. And when the right does stand up to them, they're weak. They've been knocked out on several occasions by those on the right, on the streets. But it's going to escalate because Antifa will start coming truly with knives and the guns will be pulled out. So I've said my say. The authorities need to do something about it. This is unacceptable, people. I don't care, whether you're on the left, you're right. This is not acceptable to be doing this out of somebody's house, frightening his wife and his poor children. Not acceptable. I've made my point, and I hope that the authorities do something about it. Thank you.